Hello everyone, welcome to today's lecture. We are going to explore the 7 new tools for improvement. In our last module, we covered the Ishikawa Basic 7 tools, which are all about analyzing data and solving technical problems. But for today's tool, they are different. They are designed to help you organize ideas, make strategic decisions, and work effectively with teams. Alright, let's take a quick look at what we are going to cover today. We'll start with an overview to understand why these 7 new tools were developed and how they differ from what we have already learned. Then we'll go through each tool one by one: the affinity diagram, interrelationship diagram, matrix diagram, tree diagram, prioritization matrices, process decision program chart, and activity network diagram. For each tool, I will explain what it is, how to use it, and more importantly, when we want to use it in real-world situations. And finally, we'll wrap up with a summary that ties everything together. So what exactly are 7 new tools for improvement? Well, think back to our last module when we studied the Ishikawa Basic 7 models. Those tools were all about data, right? Control charts, histogram, Pareto chart. They help us analyze numbers and identify technical problems. But here's the thing, not every quality challenge can be solved with statistics alone. Sometimes we need to organize a mountain of ideas from brainstorming session. Sometimes we need to plan a complex project or understand how different problems are connected. That's where those new tools come in. They were developed in Japan specifically to complement the basic 7 tools, and their focus is on planning and managing quality improvement initiatives. These tools excel when problems are complex, qualitative, and process-oriented. Think of them as your strategic thinking toolkit. They emphasize idea generation, planning, and decision making. And let's see what makes those tools special. Okay, let's start with the first tool, the affinity diagram. Just imagine this. You are in a meeting room with your team and you have just finished a brainstorm session about improving customer satisfaction. There are sticky notes everywhere. Seriously, the wall is covered with them. You've got ideas about better packaging, faster shipping, friendlier customer service, clearer instructions, and about 50 other suggestions. It's overwhelming, right? But how do you make sense of all those information? And that's exactly what affinity diagram does. It helps you to create a hierarchy of ideas on large surface, usually a wall or whiteboard. And the beauty of this tool is to help you identify patterns or themes within all those brainstorming results. Instead of looking at 100 random ideas, you start to see natural groupings emerge. Maybe 5 ideas are all about communication, 10 are more about product quality, and another group related to delivery speed. Think of this like organizing your closet. Instead of having clothes thrown everywhere, you group shirts together, pants together, and shoes together. And the concept is the very same. But this time, for the affinity, we are dealing with ideas. Now, let's look at how we can actually use affinity diagram. It's simpler than you might think. and it's actually quite fun. First, we collect ideas, usually through brainstorming with the team. Then we write each idea on a separate card or sticky note. And here's where it gets interesting. We spread all the sticky notes out on the wall or table, and then we start grouping the idea together. The key here is to work silently at them first. Don't overthink it. Just go with your gut about which ideas seem related. And once we've got the groups, we label each group with a category name that capture the essence of these ideas. So when we use this tool, well, it's perfect right after a brainstorm session when we've got a ton of ideas but no structure. It's fantastic for organizing qualitative feedback like customer complaints or employee suggestions. And it's especially useful when we need to identify key themes for complex information. Let me give it a real example. Imagine you work at a restaurant and you are analyzing customer feedback. You might group complaints into categories like food quality, service speed, cleanliness, and atmosphere. See how that immediately gives you a clear picture of where to focus our improvement efforts, and that's the power of affinity diagram. Okay, so we have used the affinity diagram and we have organized all the ideas into nice, neat categories. But you might wonder, how do these categories relate to each other? And that's where the interrelationship diagram comes in. And this is the visual tool that shows the cause and effect relationship among the different issues we identified with the affinity diagram. Here's what makes this tool so powerful. It helps us understand that some problem cause other problems. For example, maybe a poor employee training leads to mistakes, which leads to customer complaints, which leads to lost business. See how those are all connected. And the interrelationship diagram maps out these connections using boxes and arrows. And notice in the image on the slide how our boxes are shaded. Those shaded boxes represent the major issues that we need to be address. And they are usually the root cause that are creating multiple other problems. Think like a game of domino. If you can identify and fix that first domino, the root cause, and you might prevent the whole chain of problem from happening. And that's what this tool helps us discover. So how do we create an interrelationship diagram? First, we list all related factors or issues from the affinity diagram groups. Then we connect them with arrows showing which issue influence other issues. The arrow points from the cause to the effect. Once we have drawn all the arrows and we count them, items with many arrows going out are usually root causes. Items with many arrows coming in are outcome or symptoms. So when can we use this? It's perfect for analyzing complex interdependency situations where everything seems to connect to everything else. One good case in point. Imagine you work in the hospital and patient satisfaction is low. And you might discover that staff burnout leads to communication problems, which leads to medication errors, which leads to patient dissatisfaction. If you only address the communication problem without fixing the burnout, you are not really solving the underlying issues. And the interrelationship diagram make these connections visible. It's the tree diagram, and this one is going to feel pretty intuitive once you see it in action. The tree diagram helps us identify the steps needed to address a given problem or achieve a specific goal. And if you have taken a project management course, and this will look very similar, it's basically the same concept as a work breakdown structure. The idea is simple. We start with a big goal or problem on the left side, and then we break it down into smaller and smaller pieces as we move to the right, and each level gets more specific and more detailed. Here's why this tool is so useful. Big goals can feel overwhelming. Improving customer satisfaction sounds great, but where do we even start? The tree diagram forces us to break that down into actionable steps. Maybe improving customer satisfaction requires better products, better service, or better communication. Okay, what does better service require? Maybe faster response times, better training, and more stuff. And that's the power of tree diagram. Create a tree diagram. We start with our main goal and write it down on the left side of our page or whiteboard. And then we ask ourselves, what are major strategies or categories do we need to achieve this goal? And write those as the first level branches. And the third step is where we keep drilling down for each strategy. I ask, what detailed action are needed to achieve this? And create another level branches. And we keep going until we reach specific actionable task that someone actually can do. And this tool is fantastic during the project planning when we need to break down a complex initiative to manageable pieces. And it's also great for identifying all the steps necessary to achieve a goal. And think about this if we want to open a coffee shop, and that's our main goal. And our main strategy might be secure funding, find location, get permits, hire staff, or market the business. So under finding a location, we can break it down further by research neighborhoods, evaluate foot traffic, negotiate lease terms, and so on. So we can see with this tool, we can make each level gets more specific. And that's the beauty of a tree diagram. It takes something big and intimidating and make it manageable. More often than not, we always face a challenge. Too many good ideas and not enough resources to implement them all. And that's where the prioritization grid comes in. And this is a decision-making tool that helps us compare multiple options or projects in a structured way. And the prioritization grid gives us a fair, systematic way to evaluate all of our options. And it considers several criteria to evaluate the importance or impact of each option. And maybe we evaluate based on cost, potential benefit, feasibility, or how quickly we will see the results. And the beauty of this tool is that it can promote team consensus through structured comparison. This tool can help us decide which project deserves attention. And we start to use this tool by listing all of our ideas of improvement options. And then we choose the key criteria that matter most, like cost, benefit, feasibility, time, or alignment with goals. And then We score each idea on the symbol scale, such as 1 to 5, and total the points, and the highest score review the top priorities. For example, a quality manager comparing project to reduce defects can weigh cost against expected results and implementation time, and the grid makes choices objective and transparent. No guesswork, just the smart decisions. Matrix diagram is a powerful tool for showing relationships between different factors. Think of it like the spreadsheet that helps you see how one group of items connects to another. Symbols or numbers show the strengths of each relationship. For example, a filled circle for strong, an open one for weak, and blank for none. And the motion type is the L-shaped matrix, with row and columns comparing two sets of data. But we can also have T, Y, X-shaped version for more complex comparisons. It's like the product comparison chart. Everything is clear, visual, and easy to analyze. The matrix diagram, we start by defining what we are comparing, like tasks versus departments or customers, needs versus product features. And then fill in the intersection with symbols or values, showing how strongly each pair is related. Then we analyze the patterns. Strong connections highlight priority, while gaps reveals weaknesses. This tool is great for clarifying responsibility or analyzing complex systems. A well-known example is the quality function deployment, where customer needs are linked to product features. Picture a software project. Customer wants down one side technical solution across the top. The matrix instantly shows which needs are met and where improvements are needed. One of my favorite tools is the Process Decision Program Chart, or short for PDPC. No matter how well we plan, things can go wrong. The PDPC helps us stay proactive by identifying possible problems before they happen. It's like playing what if with your project. What if the supplier is late, the equipment fails, or the staffing falls short? For each potential issue, we create a backup plan so we are ready to act instead of react. Think of this as insurance for your project. It helps us manage risks calmly and confidently when challenges arise. To create a process decision program chart, we start by mapping out our plan in a simple tree diagram, and then for each step, ask what could go wrong and list every possible problem. Next, add the preventative or corrective actions, how to stop the issue or respond if it happens. This tool is vital for major projects where failing is not an option. For example, when launching a new inventory system, we might plan action for missing trainings, confusions, or staff turnovers. By preparing for those risks early, we boost our project success and show true professional foresight. The activity network diagram, which is also known as critical path method, is the project management tool that maps the sequence and dependencies of tasks. It shows which activities must happen first and which other tasks can run at the same time. The real power of this diagram is to identify the critical path, which is the longest chain of dependent tasks that determine the project total duration. Any delay in the critical path will delay the whole project. By visualizing those connections, we can schedule work effectively, allocate resources wisely, and keep our project on track from start to finish. To create an activity network diagram, we need to list all project tasks and then identify which tasks depend on others and what must happen first. And then we draw our network using boxes or circles for activities and arrows to show sequence and timing. Finally, find the critical path, the longest chain of dependent tasks that determines our project total duration. Tasks on this path have zero slack, so any delay there could delay the whole project. Whether we are planning a wedding or launching a new product, this tool helps us visualize dependency, stay on schedule, and manage project time effectively. Today, we explore the 7 new tools for improvement, quantitative tools that support planning, organizing, and decision-making. The affinity diagram group ideas. The interrelationship diagram show cause and effect. And the tree diagram break goals into steps. The prioritization grid rank options. The matrix diagram review relations. The PDPC anticipate problems, and the activity network diagram maps the project timeline. These tools build on each other to guide smart, strategic improvement. Practicing using them in your workplace or even your personal life, and you will feel the magic power of these tools. Thank you for your time and see you in our next lecture. Bye-bye.